Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, and we are talking about you with Sonka, intuitive life coach, who's me, NLP practitioner, timeline therapy practitioner, and a registered nutritional therapist. And tonight I have got amazing Siobhan with me, Siobhan Alexander, who is owner of Mother Nature Sanctuary, which is absolutely fantastic hub for relaxation and yoga, Pilates, and everything. And she's mom to three children.
Yes,
three children, who stopped counting after two, obviously. And I think best I'd let her to tell a little bit more about herself and what she does. Hello, Siobhan. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. So, yes, like you say, I've got a wellbeing hub in Bollington, Mind, Body and Health, and I opened in 2018. So, what's that? Yes, nearly 3 years ago. Can't believe that.
That's where we met, actually. So it means
yes.
it means we've known each other for 3 years now.
Yeah, we met a little bit before as well, didn't we?
Yes, yeah.
So yes, it's been
plotting together.
Exactly. So it's been quite a journey, and basically I opened it when I was still on my maternity leave with my third child. So she's now 4, and well, I started the process anyway. And I wanted a bigger space where I was working. I didn't quite anticipate getting somewhere quite as big as I ended up, but it was one of those things. I just kind of thought if I didn't do it now, I'd never do it. And it was one of those things of what's the worst that could happen? Well, it might not work, so I'll have to close. So yes, here we are, and we are surviving lockdown, which is good.
Amazing.
Yeah. And yes, so I was pregnant, so I've had 3 children, and when I was pregnant with my first, I ended up training to do baby massage. It took me about 2 years to actually get on and do my classes, because I kind of lost confidence after I'd had my first baby. I think probably other women can relate to this, with your kind of hormones going all over the place. So yeah, so I ended up starting teaching baby massage, and then each time I got pregnant, in the end I just thought, you know what, I want a bigger space and I want one space to work from. So here we are, and this is where I'm at now.
Mother Nature Sanctuary, fantastic. Yeah, and you do yourself. Obviously you do baby massage, but massage for adults as well, which is absolutely amazing. I can recommend. Finally, when I got into the routine a little bit, I couldn't come, but I'll be back. That's for sure. I'll be back, and that's for sure. And one of your biggest loves, I know. You can tell that everything you do is with absolute love and from heart, but your real passion is hypnobirthing. Am I right to say that?
Yes. I think.
How did you get to that?
Well, when I had my first, when I was pregnant with Samson, my eldest, I remember reading a book about active birth, and read the first chapter, it kind of just saying that it's the most natural thing for a woman to do is to give birth. And if you look in Eastern world, women just give birth in a very easy, more natural way, whereas the Western world has really made it quite dramatic. So if you imagine, if you know, like one born every minute with hypnobirthing would not be entertainment. So you know, but that's where we base our kind of benchmark. So I remember one of the midwives saying to me, go and watch this YouTube video of a hypnobirth. And I remember watching it thinking, oh my God, that's amazing. What is she doesn't even look like she's giving birth. And then I was like, right, I can do that. And so that's what I decided I was going to do. So I got, the first time I used just a CD. So I was listening to it. It was quite amusing because I had a home
self-taught.
Yes, yeah. Okay. And then it was just on in the background, but it was quite amusing because we had a brilliant midwife, Ruth, and when our second midwife arrived, Chloe, we were at home, we were doing a home birth, and the living room was just like a fire birthing pool. It was like a womb. It was really hot and dark. Anyway, she came in, she went, come in, Chloe, she says, it's like a womb in here, and me and James have got a golden ring for our uterus. I was like that. I can't do it now, you're making me laugh. So but needless to say, I had a positive birth, a first birth experience. It ended up with my worst case scenario, the thing that I said I didn't want to happen. But I just felt like we understood how we got to that point. And the midwives are brilliant, and they kind of made sure we explored all the opportunities before we kind of ended up going into hospital. So actually, when I came away from that experience, it wasn't what I'd envisaged, but it wasn't a negative birth experience. So then when I had my second, I decided to go and do the course and actually do it proper, learn how to do it.
I'll stop you there for a second, Siobhan, if you don't mind, and go back to that, because obviously I assume you knew what to ask as well, didn't you? Or was it just naturally that the midwives told you and you were actually or fully informed? Or is it more about asking right questions as well and knowing what to ask and to actually feel that control and be in control?
Yeah, I think, well, because my mum's a retired midwife, so I, had long conversations with her before I went into labour, and she was on the end of the phone on the day when everything started happening. So she kind of kept me calm, and I think that with the doubled up with the fact that we were at home, so you're in your own environment, so that lends itself to you being as relaxed as you possibly can. And also the midwives, they were brilliant, and they did absolutely everything they could to try and help me have my birth at home, but I was just tired and my body just needed some help, so I had to go in. So it was one of those things that I didn't really we weren't in a hospital environment until we had to be in a hospital environment. And when we got there, it was...
So you felt you had a choice, and you've done the best you could based on the situation.
Yes, but my second birth was a very different experience. So I did, even though I went and did the training, or when we went and did the course, I just remember like everything being absolutely fine, it being quite relaxed, and then my waters were broken and everything changed. And at that point, it just felt like everybody, again, you can't fault the midwives; they do a brilliant job. But the bit that I didn't know, because you're in quite a vulnerable state anyway. And they have information that potentially they're not always going to share with you because it might get you a bit anxious. But the birth took a very, very different course, and I believe I still stand by it now, that if I just asked the right questions at the right time, things might have been slightly different. So that was a huge learning curve for me. And so when I went into my third delivery, I was like, I know what I'm doing. And I reread the books. And at that point, I was like, right, it's about
I'm in control.
Yeah. And it's about, before anything happens, it's about stopping, and nothing's going to happen immediate unless you're in an absolute emergency situation. You're not going to have it. You're going to have time to make a decision, and you're going to have time to explore different options available to you. So my third delivery was what I would call a positive birth experience. I try and avoid the kind of... Yes, exactly. But some women don't have that. They don't have like 2 or 3.
Some women don't even know what it is exactly, and some women may not even because hypnobirthing, I don't think it gives away what it is all about. People, for me, if I didn't speak to you a lot about it, because I was quite intrigued, and obviously you volunteer because you're so passionate about it, I would think, okay, am I actually conscious, am I am I present, what is it, so to be able to actually just explore that experience and bring it to women who are not maybe even aware it exists or what it actually is, and it seems a little bit woohoo for them, which actually it's very practical and it's hard work, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And it requires preparation, and that's basically what you do with women, and I know you do it on one-to-one as well as the group sessions. Would you like to say more about that? Or?
So I've found, like, during the lockdown period, particularly last summer, I had a few one-to-one cases that I worked with, and I got a lot out of it, because obviously with the hypnobirthing, like you've just kind of alluded to, it's all about relaxation. So it's about being in a relaxed state, using your breathing to keep you in a relaxed state and to allow your body to do what it naturally is designed to do. And it's when your conscious brain starts taking over that's when you can have the physical reactions to a situation. So it's about being able to bring yourself back into your body and being really present and breathing. And it's understanding the physiology of what your body is doing. And I know for me, it was that aha moment of, oh, right. Oh, okay. So every time I had a surge, because that's what we call them, it was like I was able to visualize my baby moving down rather than me thinking, oh my God, that really hurts, which is what some people, when you go into that really hurts, then you're giving a different response to your body. So it's all about being relaxed and calm. And we use affirmations as well. So it's about getting into a relaxed state, and you're getting down to the subconscious thinking and retelling a different story, because your body is just trying to keep you safe. So for me, like working with women who've already had a baby, or there's something more underlying going on that's causing the anxiety around their birth. When we do the one-to-one work, we can really kind of dig into that and find out what's causing that, exploring it further, and then from that coming up with so then I will kind of design some personalized affirmations for the mother, so that lovely. When they do so, and then I'll like record the meditation for them, so then it's really personal. And it was really lovely, because one of my ladies, she said she was feeling quite anxious about it, and she said her brother had sent her a letter saying, you are amazing and you rock. And it was brilliant, because we put that into her meditation. So then when she was listening to it, she could hear all the affirmations, and then she was able to hear that. And it's like makes you smile, and it's stuff like that. It's really, it's just completely make it a little bit more personal.
Working on different level, on subconscious level, instead of the panic, the physical panic of the body. Trying to talk it down basically on subconscious level, which is so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like it's like every time you notice those thoughts coming into your head, it's about, once you brought awareness to it, then you're like, oh, hang on a sec, I'm just going to change that. So we do what we call thought exchange, so changing that thought for something a little bit more positive, and turning it on its head and making it a positive affffirmation. So
reframing kind of it there and there.
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Yeah, exactly. And that awareness is powerful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And also it's awareness of your thought, but awareness there is another way, and you're actually in control of it. Yeah, because for many women, and I've not had children, but if I did, if I chosen to have children, I would be probably the same. It's just painful experience, and you just have to go through it, and that's it. Because when you reframe, that's the only way we knew. That's the only way we've heard, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you reframe pain for intensity, it gives it a different.
From trauma to actually something really beautiful and natural, isn't it?
Yeah.
To just change perception of it.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because it's like when you think about when someone gets nervous, nerves are the same emotion on a physical level in your body. You feel nerves in the same way as you feel excitement. So it's like when you feeling
it's
that
the same response, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Same chemicals. It's just so our mind, the way how we interpret. What's the English word?
Interpreted.
That's right. I knew this is gonna happen one day. What meaning we put into it, isn't it? So fantastic. And I know when we talk that you feel like women actually are very consistent, because obviously it's about their babies. They want to have this lovely experience during the birth, and hypnobirth itself. It suggests that it's all about and around giving a birth. And once it's done, you're done. And then the madness starts.
Yes. For want of a better word.
But it's not based on you. What do you think? Because you feel like many women, or all of the women who do the hypnobirth, they can take it through their life after giving birth. And that's something you are working on now, and creating a group which actually brings all this experience, not just for people who did the hypnobirth, but actually even though they've not been through the experience, they can still benefit from it. And those who has been through the experience, they can carry on with what they've learned, because there's obviously, as we talk a lot about breathing, but I'm sure there are other stuff which tell us about, because I don't
Yeah.
know, and probably many others that wouldn't know. So how do you envisage that?
So, like for me personally, just to kind of give you a bit of background. So, when I did
Mm.
mine, obviously, when you're pregnant, you're listening to your scripts night in, night out. You don't have, you might have other children, but you don't have a newborn needing you all night. So, you're there and you get into this like really good routine of taking care of yourself. I mean, I used to just spend hours in the bath just listening to meditations, especially with my first. And then with my second and my third, I'd always, take myself off to bed early, go and listen to my meditations. So you get a really good routine. And then your baby arrives and all that goes by the wayside because you're so absorbed with looking after the baby that you then end up putting yourself and your own kind of needs further down the list of priorities, especially if this is like baby number 3 and you've got 2 other children as well.
Yeah.
So and I also found that when I'd had the baby, any one of my children, that I didn't really want to listen to those scripts anymore because it was all that was associated for me with pre-birth, and particularly after my second birth. I just didn't want to go back there because it was more traumatic than I would, have wanted it. So it's just made, and when I'm now obviously doing what I do as a holistic therapist, and I teach baby massage, and again, absolutely for the baby massage, I've seen mums come in who've had really high levels of stress, and when I've spoke to them, and said, did you do not baby massage, did you do hypnobirthing? And a couple of the mums have done it, and they'd forgotten, and so by having a few just conversations with them and reminding them and bringing them back to the things that you learn in your hypnobirthing, which is your positive affirmations, into relaxation, into breathing, into meditation, and it's just like, you can do this, and reframing your thoughts as well. And it's just been amazing because you've seen women go, oh my God, yes, I know all this, I know it all. And then it's like that light bulb moment
lovely
where they go,
warm feeling for you as well.
yes,
Oh, I actually have done something extra here. Yeah,
exactly, because then it's like, this, it's about reminding women that you can do this, and it's just as important now, even more so when you've got a baby, than when you are pregnant, because you need it. You can't look after anybody else if you don't look after yourself. So that's kind of where I feel quite passionate about supporting women, particularly mothers, because I just know what we're like.
So it goes way beyond just that period of time before birth, and the same techniques, just in a slightly different arrangement.
Exactly.
They can still use them. It's funny how we learn something one way, and sometimes when our brain and we get busy, we just kind of can't associate it with anything else.
Exactly.
So always the little reminder like that is very helpful. And you're creating something wonderful for women to remind them daily.
Yes. Well, that's kind of come about. I've wanted to create a community for quite some time, but to be honest, I suppose this last year, with all the time that I've had off, I've had quite a bit of reflection time and been able to really get clear about what it is I want to do. So, and I just feel like as a mum, I need support, and I know how important it is to get support. And it's about, like you've just said, giving people the tools, but maybe in a slightly different way, so then they can go, oh yeah, I like that meditation, I'm going to give that a go. And if they do one thing a week for themselves, it's better than doing absolutely nothing. So kind of my mission is to help give tools, but in a really real way, because I know what it's like, and I'm not perfect. I go through days where I'm like, oh my goodness, I've forgotten
and that itself helps, because it's no point for us as a coaches or a therapist to present ourselves like, oh, we've got it all sussed out and we're 100% all the time, and actually making people feel guilty, and actually doing opposite. So the fact that we are not perfect, and actually, I don't know how about you, but it helps me to be more tuned to people. And I very much remember the days when I'm not 100%, and try to figure out, okay, how can I turn this around? Because if I'm experiencing this, my client will experience this at some point. And it's sometimes more of a help than telling them, you know, what the great stuff are, but also
because I've found people that I really relate to and who have really helped me, or who I will kind of think, oh, I'm going to listen to that person, is somebody who I relate to on a personal level. So it's like, you know, if I have a busy mum entrepreneur, and they are doing it, and they are doing it, you know, really well, I'll be like, how are they doing that? And I like it when they're, you know, they're like, look, I haven't done this and I haven't done that, and it's okay, like it's all right. It's about accepting. Yeah, exactly. We're not all superwomen.
To have it all.
Exactly. And I think that's the problem. Women feel, because we've got, in a masculine energy, we go into like superwoman, and we cannot operate in superwoman, because if we operate from a place of superwoman, we get burnout. And so that's the other thing I'm kind of learning about, is about, you know, like our menstrual cycle and how it affects us, and how, like, if we acknowledge it and understand it, that it can help us through our months, like to ebb and flow, and be a little bit more gentle, and kind of go, do you know what?
Just listen to your body, really check in and tune in daily, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. But without any judgment. So it's about, and it's meant to be, you know, so it's like certain things where you and I might think, well, surely everybody knows to do that. Like, you know, when we had a conversation earlier saying about breathing, and it's like, well, breathing's really important. And you were saying, well, without breath. Without our breath, we're nothing. But it's about the conscious breathing, isn't it? About doing something from a conscious place of being conscious about it. And it's not about, you know, I can very easily get overwhelmed, because I'm like, well, I'm going to do a morning routine, but my morning routine's got to be an hour long. And it's like, that's ridiculous, Siobhan. Let's just like bring your standards down a few notches.
Expectations.
Exactly. And just do a couple of things, rather than doing all singing or dancing, and it just being more accessible for people, rather than it being, you know, too much.
It just the question popped into my head because I don't think we've mentioned that before, even when conversation just between two of us. Do you bring partners into these sessions? Or is it literally just one-to-one, or mum, or is it their choice?
What do they want?
But or anything, whatever you're creating as a hub, as a community, either it's Hypnobirth, or it's your Facebook group, which you are bringing to life very soon. As actually it's live.
Yes, it just needs live, populating.
So if you want, I'll post actually the link under the video when we are finished, so people will be able to find you and join. But just what are the expectations? Is it literally just for mums, or do you bring partners and male partners?
Many partners are welcome. And when I first opened Mother Nature Sanctuary, I set up a Monday group that was run by me, and the health visitors were there, so that they were doing the way, and we called that Parents, Bumps and Babies. And I deliberately called it Parents, Bumps and Babies to include men, so that men didn't feel like they weren't included. And, you know, partly down to me maybe not managing that properly, but also not really having a really clear objective as to what I'm trying to achieve and why I want to achieve it. So, but in response to what you've just said, in the hypnobirthing side of things, couples most welcome. Or
is it preferable? Would you recommend that?
Yeah,
or would you
it is. Yeah, no, it is really helpful to have the man involved.
So they don't go.
Yeah, exactly, because it gives
breathe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it gives the partner something to know that what they need to do, and to give them a role, because sometimes that's one of the things that can be quite difficult, because, you know, some dads will say, I feel a bit helpless. I don't really know what I'm meant to be doing. And so by the time they've done the hypnobirthing course with myself, then they are equipped and they know the right questions to ask. And they basically, when they go through that process with their partner, then they fully understand what how each other feel about certain aspects of the birth, and
Oh,
particularly
it's
the woman.
amazing.
And so
It
then,
sounds like it's very important actually
yeah,
to
exactly, because then they
go through
become,
like item.
yeah, because they become the
Mm.
person's, they become the communicator for the mum. So when, if the woman is really into herself and she's, you know, breathing and focusing on what her body is doing, and the midwife or one of the healthcare professionals are asking questions, and you know the partner is there and able to say, oh well, I know, you know, she would prefer this or she would prefer that, then it just makes, it helps them, they feel empowered, and it also just means that the woman doesn't have to think about everything. She
Everything,
can
yeah.
leave, trust and leave it with her partner.
Oh, that's
But
beautiful. I'm glad I've asked actually, because it's
yeah,
not, it wasn't obvious maybe to many that but it sounds like it's actually preferred option if there is a choice.
yeah.
Um, Fantastic. So, are you still doing these hypnobirthing one-to-ones and group sessions? What's available now?
Yes, yes, I am. I'll be totally honest. This last month has been a bit of a washout with
You're
homeschooling. So it's
homeschooling as
just, yeah.
well and everything.
So I've had to just really, I've just had to take the foot off the gas of the business and just kind of
Which
go,
is
do you know what?
fantastic that you actually did.
I
You
can't.
know, it's
Yeah, well, I
admirable.
can't. Otherwise, I'd be walking around like a complete wreck, and everyone would be like, "Aren't
We
you the
don't want
person
that.
who works at that wellbeing place?" So yeah, so I've had to, like, for my own sanity. But yes, that's one of the things I'm looking to get going again, and as soon as I can, try and get my baby massage class back up and running. So even that, from an online perspective, has just gone quiet, because when I started it in January, there wasn't that much uptake from mums wanting to do it online. They just wanted to be in person, which I completely understand, because they've been in a
Yes.
lockdown during most of their pregnancy, so they want to meet real people. But one of the things that I really feel quite passionate about the group, the Mother
Yeah.
Space group that I've started,
I
is
absolutely love that
about
idea.
it's about so I want to also facilitate some kind of virtual meetups. And I know, like, some moms have said, oh, I'm over the online stuff, but it's like, the reality is if we are up until the end of March, beginning of April time, then in small intimate groups, it'd be quite nice just to connect you with maybe two or three, you know, I would think no more than 6 women in a group, because at least then you can have a conversation and have a bit of a chat and get to know each other.
Yeah.
So it's about facilitating that as well, and that's not just for mum and baby. If I've got mums and toddlers who are saying, I really want some connection, I'll do one of those. I'll facilitate one of them. So it'll just be like a virtual coffee and cake in an afternoon, and they can just come along. But yeah, so
That's fantastic.
hopefully women will take it up. So,
And I know the way you want to do it also is like, I know we agreed already that I'm happy to come and contribute with whatever, whether it's the NLP or the nutritional side of it.
yeah,
And it will be there for them to go and listen or watch at their own time. So, because obviously things happen, even if you think you've got a time, but you may not, and then you feel like you're missing out. We're all like that, let alone busy moms.
yeah,
So I know you want to do it like a bite size,
yeah,
10-15 minutes videos or contributions, and it will be there for them to go and rewatch or go back to it, which I think is really, really wonderful. Not overload them with information, and not having
exactly.
to be at the particular time and miss out, which I think is really, really great. No,
Yeah,
I'm
because I
looking
know
forward
as
to
a
it.
mom, I can find 15 minutes. If I had to find half an hour, that's a bit trickier. But like
Yeah,
15 minutes, I could probably get away with a 15-minute yoga routine without being interrupted.
fantastic.
Anything longer than that, and I'd have somebody coming in and knock in or trying to join in, which I don't mind. But it's the whole
Yeah.
point is about just having some time to you, just to give yourself something back again. So, but you know, the simplest thing that lots of people are doing, and I would highly advocate it, is just get outside and go walking. So, you know, it's not taken away from any of that. It's about giving, like I say, tools for people just to kind of go, do you know what? I saw there was a yoga thing, a 15-minute yoga video on that group. I'm
I'll
going to
just
go
give it a
and,
go. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then we're going to have some baby yoga. So if you've got a baby and you want to do some yoga and working on your core, we're going to have some of that. some baby massage, just lots of different bits and bobs. I've got another lady who's got some parenting tips for teenagers. So it's about, you know,
so
and
it's
there is power.
all age groups when it comes to children.
It's all about the mother. So going back to your question a bit earlier about a partners, you know, like the dads or partners involved, then yes, if they want to be, but the reality is women sharing, like I see it in baby massage when the mums share their experiences, straight away it makes you feel, and I know this, I felt the same. It's like, oh, thank God I'm not on my own. I'm not going mad, you know. And so then when you hear that, it just makes you go, oh, I feel so much better, and you feel supported, even though all that someone has done is acknowledge the fact that they're going through exactly the same as you're going through, and it's like, oh, that makes me feel so much better. So there is a lot of power.
That's priceless, isn't it? Or even just saying it to someone, you know, will understand, and you're not facing judgment or like, what kind of mom? How can you say that? Or any of it, because they're all going through the same thing, and someone may have a really good tip for it, or just a joke.
Yes,
or
exactly.
anything. You know, it's just that girl power again, and kind of support and empower each other when you've got a bad day.
And even if you've
just share when you've got a good one, so you can go back to it later on when the day is not so shiny.
Exactly. But even if you've got a mum who has had a baby, you know, 10 years ago, you're never going to forget. You're never going to forget that experience, and there'll always be something, a bit of advice that they will be able to help or share. But like with all these things, it always comes from a place of experience. So it's about trying to like help, share,
bring the wisdom.
Yeah, exactly. But for ultimately, it's about trusting your instincts and listening to what your instincts is telling you, because that's
fantastic.
The most
so where
thing.
They can find this group, as I said, I'll post the link below the video as well, once we finish. But if they want to jump on it now, if they're impatient, where they can go?
It's on Facebook group? And it's Mother Nature. No, it's not Mother Nature. It's called Mother Space by Mother Nature Sanctuary. See, I know it off by heart. I changed it twice. I changed the name when I was doing it. Now I can't quite remember. But if you look up Mother's Space, Mother Nature Sanctuary, it'll come up.
So, or just simply look for Mother Nature Sanctuary, DM Siobhan, and she'll send you the link. It's another way, or the link will be in the comments under the video. So and also other links to be able to connect with Siobhan.
And it is a community as well, so I encourage people to come, join, and share in the community. So it's about being a part of it. So
oh, sounds so lovely and so needed. It's beautiful. I'm really looking forward to contribute to it and share and have a little chat with the mums.
Oh, thank you, Sonica.
It's always really good fun to listen. No, thank you very much, Siobhan. It was lovely to chat. I'm glad we've managed that you found time in your busy schedule.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I've enjoyed it.
It was absolutely a pleasure. I'm really glad, because it was like, shall I too busy or anything, but obviously we managed. We found a day and time. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. Good luck with it all. And
thank you.
let us know what's happening, and we'll all share so people can join us. Okay. Thank you very much. Take care.
Bye.